Hey there. Uh, you know, probably the hardest thing for me in starting out with this YouTube, doing this is I've got so much to talk about. Talking has never been a difficult thing for me. And it's like, where do I start? I guess I kind of started at the beginning. I wanted to, I wanted to um, share just some personal, very personal. They're very personal, but here I am putting it on the ether, right? But you know what? What else can I do? Okay, you know. So I do a little bit of real estate, but not anything like, it's not like I made a bunch of money or anything like that. I mean, the fact is, I mean, you know, Debbie and I, we have no retirement, we have no 401k, no pension. We've been self-employed our whole lives. I've always said when I was young, nobody would employ me, and so, um, you know, um, I'd say it as a joke. I think I really was employable, but in fact, I know I was because I'd have had jobs. But the thing is I didn't um, tuck money away like I I know people that have, and I I I really believe I really put a ton of the reason why um, is that my life was made into a struggle. It That's what happened. From this guy that just let me tell you a story. I was probably 26, maybe 26 or 27 years old, and I met this guy. He was probably probably 3 years younger than me. His name was Rich. He was, um, I was no longer going to Phoenix College. I was married, and Rich was taking classes. He wasn't married, and we met. We really hit it off, and we got to talking, and anyway, he he told me that he and his family were vacationing in California. I think they had a travel trailer or a motorhome or something, and they were at one of those beach camps. And I think he said he was like 11 years old, maybe 12 years old. Might have even been younger. Maybe he was 10, but he was just collected some seashells and stuff along the beach as folks let him walk on down the beach and explore a little bit. And this guy assaulted him and did to him what happened to me. And um, and he was injured, and he went running back to the camp. Anyway, he actually had to get medical attention. I probably would have gotten medical attention too. Um, and anyway, police got called, and they caught this guy. They caught him, and he went to prison. It was not a big, long, strung out thing. I mean, it was relatively swift, but he went to prison. And Rich, like right off bad from the very beginning. He got counseling and therapy, and he got all this stuff, and we talked at length. We talked in depth about that because I told him what happened to me, and he it was kind of weird. It was just a weird thing because you know, it was like he felt really, really bad that I didn't. The guy that did this to me didn't get turned in. You know, his wife used it as a blue chip. I mean, she. I'll tell you all that later, but um, anyway, so I didn't get anything like that. So point is this, is that he and I would talk about this, like really, really, just really not wrestle with it, but really, you know, talk and talk and talk. And and he felt really bad that I didn't because of the things that he learned early on and came to understand early on. Things that took me decades to learn, to find out that this is why, you know, I don't even know if you're allowed to say this stuff. I'm so afraid of you know, I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but assault against a child is so bad. So bad. It, especially if it is something that goes on for a long period of time. And then when there's threats and there's the pressure of the very thing that you love, that is your family, your mom and your dad, that's being threatened to be snatched away from you, to be killed. And then have it abruptly end with with this incredible, I don't know how, you know, I'm just going to level with you. When his wife found that stack of Polaroids that he took when he was assaulting me, when he was doing what he was doing to me, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. You know, no matter how much it hurt, no matter how hard I cried and just bawled, just blubbered, you know? And yeah, when he was doing it, you know, he would just tell me to shut up and shove my face to the ground. And but then afterwards, just telling me that this is your fault. This is all your fault. You're the one that caused this. You made this happen. You did this. You know, if you're, and if I end up killing your parents, it's gonna be your fault. That's on you. And you know, and I never said anything back to him. I didn't know what to say back to him. I didn't know what to say. I don't think there was anything to say back to him. I might have said, please don't kill my family. You know? And so in between him doing that on a somewhat regular basis, the molestations were, you know, just like stuff that he just expected that on top of it all. I mean, and be totally honest, those things they didn't hurt. You know, they didn't make me bleed. They didn't. It was, you know, and so I'm gonna jump around, and I apologize for that. It's just, I guess it's just how my brain works. But um, I don't know. But I his wife. I mean, you know what? Okay, so I sold a house. This is probably 4 years ago, maybe close to 5 years ago, um, and 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 I was talking with my client who is a friend from school. I've known her since I was 12, I guess. And anyway, we were talking, and she was telling me, she said, "You know so and so?" And I said, "Of course, yeah." And she said, she was molested when by a couple. Can you believe that? By a husband and wife. And she had babysat for him, and anyway, um, but she hightailed it out of there, and they didn't stop her, they didn't threaten her or anything like that. They were just whack jobs, I guess, like maybe swingers or something like that. I don't know, but anyway, and and I had told Karen, that's my friend, that of what had happened. I didn't tell her details or anything like that, but I told her that I wasn't. Anyway, she said, "Weren't you assaulted or molested or something?" And I said, "Yeah, I was." And we talked for a while, and she said, "Have you tried to look him up, try to find him?" And I said, when social media came out, I tried to, and I had called the police 2 different times. I called when I got out of the army, um, so I was a little older than 21 when I called the police the first time, and this is really nuts. But the police officer was a Phoenix PD, and the police officer was super embarrassed. This is not in person. This was on the phone, and he just was like what? Because you're a man, and I wasn't when this happened, and there was nothing. It was nothing like it is today. I mean, and so anyway, the thing is that it just he ended up just saying, "Well, do you know where he is?" And I said, "Well, no. He's lost the house and all this stuff." He goes, "Yeah, I don't think there's anything that we can really do, and I'm really sorry that you went through that. If I had $1 for every time I've heard somebody say I'm really sorry, man, I wouldn't need, 401k. I'd have a 401k." So, and and so, and then I called again. Um, I think it was 29. I called again, and it was, man, I'll tell you what, it took my breath away. I mean, my mouth got dry, um, really did, and um, I was not. I wasn't afraid that he was going to kill my parents. My parents were long retired, and I was 29 now, and it was like, I didn't even know if he was around alive or what. Anyway, but yet the knots were there, and the dry mouth and the all that stuff. Um, but I went ahead and um, I called again, and this police officer was amazing, and he talked to me at length. I mean, he was like really talked to me at length, but the conclusion of it all was he said the statute of limitations is passed. And, you know, he had recommended that I try to get some kind of counseling just to talk this stuff, just to get this stuff off, right? And anyway, so that's about as far as that went, okay? Well, my friend that I sold the house to, she really inspired me to go ahead, get back on social media, look for him. So I did. I got on social media. I found him. I mean, it was amazing, because how did I do it? I think, I don't remember exactly, but I think I found him, and he didn't look anything like, I don't look anything like I looked when I was young, but but I remember, it wasn't private or anything like that. This is probably about 5 years ago. It was before COVID, actually, so maybe 6 years ago. But I did. I looked, and I'll be a son of a gun. I was able to look at his pictures, and in his pictures, I saw his brother. And his brother could be like a twin. I mean, and it was just like, that's, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so. So I started looking through more stuff. I never found any kind of pictures of his ex-wife. I mean, they were certainly long dissolved, but I found pictures of his daughter, who looks just like her mom. And hey, my wife just got home, and I want to continue this. I really do. But I'm going to go hug her and kiss her, and so I might clip this out of the video. I don't know, but I'll be right back. Give me a break. Okay. Hey there.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. I'm gonna wrap this up.
Okay, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you.
Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you.
I love you.
I'll be in real soon.
Sure, honey. Take your time.
I got extra donuts for everyone.
Oh, thanks, Abby.
Hi.
Oh, you see how fat I am. I don't need any donuts. Abby got donuts and stuff there. Anyway, so, oh gosh, I gotta think, where was I? But their daughter looks just like the lady, and this guy's ex-wife, and so from there I went to her social media, and I was able to find the mom, and I'll tell you what, she doesn't look anything like, I mean, vaguely, but and I remember meeting her mom. Her mom was like a real matriarch. I mean, she was real proper, and she's almost like somebody you'd see on Downton Abbey. But what's funny is, she had the same name. Her mom had the same name as my mom. They spelled it differently. I remember that. Anyway, so what's funny is that this guy, the perpetrator, or the perp, his ex-wife looks like I remember how her mom looked. I'd only met her, I think, 2 times, maybe 3. And so, anyway, I found her. Okay, so it's like, okay, like, what do you do? So then I'm like, I'm talking to my friend Karen, and me and Debbie and Karen talk and stuff, and I don't talk to other people about this. Nobody else knows about this, and so I said, you know what? Maybe I didn't come up with this. Maybe somebody suggested it, maybe Karen suggested that I write, because it's very, very therapeutic. And anyway, so I started writing a book, and 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 I'm up to like 80,000 words now, um, and I sent it in to a publisher, and they want to publish it. Things are different in the world of publishing. I mean, it takes it's like 15 grand to publish it, and I had to um, I had to remove their names. They were afraid of lawsuit, which I want to talk about. Um, and so I did, but I didn't want to change their names because I thought this is a true story. So whenever I refer to them, it's John Doe, Jane Doe, and then if I mention their daughter, it's Baby Doe, even though she's not a baby anymore. And but I really do. I want to get it published. Um, my whole reason is that um, you know I really think that men that read it, that have been that went through what I went through, it would give them um, like a journey, a pathway for release from that they were victims, that this is not their fault, that um, you know um, that there's I still struggle with the anger. I really, really, really struggle with the anger. Um, I struggle with the anger because this whole thing is, I would have clearly been a different person. I probably would have gone the same route as my siblings. Um, they all are retired because they're older than me, and so they're old, um, but they're all very successful. And my mom and dad, I had a, there was a time they had 3 houses. I mean, um, and stuff, and just, I feel shorted, and I really do. And so anyway, okay, so a long while back, probably 9 years ago, I sold this house. It was this gay couple, and I sold their house in Scottsdale, and I asked him. I said, "Can I help you find your new house?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be great." And so I did. Well, his partner had a house that he was keeping, and some years anyway, found him a house, got him into a really nice place, real nice um, people, real nice couple, and he calls up sometime later and he says, "Hey, so and so would like you to come over to the house. He wants to sell his house now." And there were details in that are, and um, so anyway, this is crazy. So I go out there and we talk, and we go ahead, we list the house, and I'm having an open house, and and I sold the house like pretty much right away, and sold it for like way more than it was a hot market too, but I think we got like 70,000 over what it was listed for, but um, it was a little 2-bedroom place. It was nice, and and but I was there then after it sold. I'm waiting for somebody, an inspection or something, and it's like I'm waiting, and I don't sit real well. I've just always got to be busy. Okay, I had my laptop, so I start looking around. So I get on social media and I start looking up, who, right? And first of all, a guy that sold to me had moved to Washington State, and so his ex-wife, I found her, and I'm using my real estate powers, right? I'm like pulling up tax or I think like tax information or something like that. And I find she inherited her mom's house in this little city, I think, kind of south and west of the valley. And so I'm trying to think, how did I do this? I started doing like a media search, and they were hurt on a cruise. I guess the cruise hit a big wave or something like that. And when I saw that, I saw her new last name, and it was like, oh, okay. So her new married name now. So I did a search in real estate on that. They lived on the same street as the house that I just sold. They lived down the street. Ding, 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 ding. That's like, oh my gosh, I couldn't wait to call my wife and tell her. And to me, it was like, Bob, you got to pursue this. I mean, how many signs do you need, right? So I like I said, man, I've been writing, and I've got this book, and it's done. It's a done deal. I just need to get it printed, really, get it printed and published. It's a big deal. It's starting to rain a little bit, but I wrote her a big letter, and really labored over the letter. I wanted it to be respectful, but I didn't want to pull any punches. And I was telling her I was writing this book, and I'd like to sit down with her. She could bring a lawyer if she wanted to. She could, bring the police if she wanted to. I don't know if she felt threatened. I'm not going to hurt anybody. But her ex-husband, by the way, was alive still. He died, I think he's been dead 2 years since last June. And I've got the obit, I've got all of this stuff. Anyhow, Senate return receipt, they signed for it. I get the thing back showing there's no response whatsoever. And it's just like, you could call me, you could text me, you could email me, you could write me a letter, send it through snail mail. You could have a lawyer contact me. You could have your husband contact me. I mean, I want to know, why didn't you turn them in? I want to know, what did you do with the pictures? I want to know, did you get help with your sister, who I think is a retired state prosecutor? Did somebody pull any strings there? Did you, just a question, I'm not throwing mud or anything like that, but just a question. Did you basically commit insurance fraud, where in the divorce decree you demanded that the personal injury lawsuit that you placed on him, that you demanded that he pay the full amount? Was that why you had another motion in the divorce decree to give him back the house, demanding he has to take the house, even though you were taking everything but his shirt and jeans and his pickup? And so I was like, is that why you gave the house back, so that he could, back in when was the 70s, 1970s, was he able to contact his insurance and say, hey, I'm being sued, and had the insurance cover the bill for that? How convenient is that? What are your thoughts about being a hospital administrator? Isn't there an oath that if you know of a child being assaulted and you didn't do anything, you didn't report it? Where's your head in that? I really want to know these things. Did you think that I would just burn out and become a drug addict, or I had a mom that drank, and I'm sober. I've been sober a while, and so Um, I mean, I don't want to get in her head. I just want to get some answers. And so, anyway, so then, okay, so that's that. And then, so I'm writing this book. So then I have the divorce decree, right? And this is jumping way, way ahead, like to, I believe after COVID, maybe, I think so. I think probably 2020, 2021, something like that. But I went down to the Phoenix police station in downtown Phoenix and just thought I'm going to report it again. And so, so I did. They took the report. Super nice young man that took all the information, took everything. Some time goes by, I get a phone call from a detective, and he says, "Yeah, we checked everything out, and yep, that's her house, and that's where, yep, all this. But I have some bad news. The statute of limitations has expired on all of this, and so we can't do anything. Our hands are tied." And so here's what's interesting. I forget what year. I want to say 2005 or something, 6. The statute of limitations on assault against a child was eliminated. No more statute of limitations. It only covers assaults from the year that they passed it to present. And so anything prior to that. So I consulted with like five different attorneys. I mean, I've got the bills for the payments. Every one of them said, you know, "We're really sorry that you went through this and everything." It's like, where's my dollar? And so, but they all said, "Yeah, but you really want to be careful because they could turn around and sue you." And I go, "What?" And they said, "Well, yeah, the law protects them because the statute of limitations is lifted, or excuse me, is on there. It's a statute of limitations. It's passed. And so, even though what you're saying is the truth, the statute of limitations is passed, and they could sue you for." What is that? Ruining their reputation, or just saying bad things about them, right? Even if those bad things are true. So then I start going after politicians. I just, nobody responded, but one responded. And I'm pretty tenacious. So I didn't like just send an email to some politician. I mean, I was telephoning, email, talking to their aide, and stuff. But one politician responded from the very first one, and that was Kirsten Sinema. And she said, "I'm at a national level, and you want state level. But let me tell you what you really want to push. You want to push for policy change. You want the policy to change to where, even if it's on case by case, that a judge can look at this and say, you know, damn straight, the statute of limitations is lifted on this particular case, so that the Phoenix police can go out and justice can be served." And that's what I want. And I'm not talking. I think it should be case by case. I found that happened, and a judge did that in Florida, in Washington State, in Colorado, and somewhere else. But it's happened. It's happened several times, that very thing. And so that's what I want. I want justice. I really do. I deserve it. My family deserves justice. I would be a different, I would be, I would be able to, like, I would have gone further in my life, in my careers and my jobs, if I didn't keep hitting these walls that I think were put there during those impressionable, it was more than 2 years, because it was 2 years was the abuse. I mean, we're talking some serious abuse I'm not even comfortable saying in this video. I don't know how I could tell you. I could tell you stuff that you would just go, you've got to be kidding me. And you were how old when, but then when it all of a sudden, it looks like the person in the white cowboy hat riding up on the white horse, that saves the day, was when she found those pictures, and she did nothing but throw me under the bus so that she could prosper her own life. And now she is the celebrated individual for all the wonderful things that she's done for women and for this and for that, and it's like, wow, you guys, I'm the springboard. I'm anyway. I think this is a good time to close this out now. Up to 36 minutes, marathon videos. I love you. Hey, please share this if you would, and please like it, and please, that sounds whiny, please like it. Please. Sorry. Please like my video. Please share my video. Please subscribe, because I'm coming out with new content. I've learned how to do this. I bought this stick thing with a tripod. I've got a microphone coming. I got a microphone. I had to take it into Whole Foods to send it back. I got the wrong one. I've got an iPhone 14, and it was for an iPhone 15, 16, 17. So I got to get their other one that will plug into the little hole on the side. And so, anyway, if you watch this all the way to the end, please let me know, okay? Please feel free to ask questions, leave comments, and get a dialogue going here, okay? I really do love you, and I respect you and appreciate you. Thank you.